If you feel you have what it takes to be awarded as the best in the business, here is your chance to apply. Head on over to our website, download the form and apply. If you face any troubles when applying or feel the need to get in touch with us directly, email us, call us, tweet at me directly at Sunanda_J or join our Facebook group.
Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18-hour special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. This is the only daily MSME platform in the country, a show where you can voice your concerns and get answers to all your queries directly from our team of experts. We understand the issues that you, the MSME entrepreneur, face, and this show aims to bring you the most relevant and updated information on everything related to your businesses. On the show today, we have a chat going with Humming Bill. That's on our Insights segment. And on Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring Shringar House of Mangalsutra. A serial entrepreneur who set up companies in different industries and across different countries. My expert today knows the meaning of facing setbacks but never giving in. Adam Walker of B2B automated billing and invoice generation solutions company Humming Bill spoke to us about advice for MSME entrepreneurs, whether it is in technology, whether it is using online solutions like his, and what you, the entrepreneur, can learn about making changes to your business plans if you feel you're hitting roadblocks. Listen. Adam, such a pleasure having you on the show. Let's start by talking about what your entrepreneurial journey has been like.
The entrepreneurial journey is really got started about 5-6 years ago. I was doing my master's in the US in a university called Rochester Institute of Technology, and I was a bit disappointed with how slow policy was at creating socioeconomic development. At the time I was doing a master's in public policy, and I saw that startup companies could be a faster and more sustainable way to introduce prosperity, right, and welfare. And that kind of triggered my succession of startup companies I've been working on, and it's a bit of a complex story in that I've been working on 4 different startup companies in 5 different continents the last 5-6 years. And what brought me to India was my last company was in Kenya. I was working with the mobile payment solution M-Pesa and building a subscription billing software for utility companies billing consumers. Great product, but bad business, and so I needed to move to a market that was much larger. So I decided to move to India, and I moved here about 1.5 years ago and got started working on the late payment problem for businesses here. So it's been a very fun, but also of course a challenging journey because I've been picking up and moving quite a lot the last couple of years.
Innovation clearly plays a big role in your business and in your industry. I want you to talk to our viewers about innovating and how to incorporate such innovation into your business, especially for small businesses who say they don't perhaps necessarily have the funds or the money to do so.
I think there's a misconception that innovation has to create a significant change in the user and also has to be expensive. I think gone were the days where there were customized software solutions for businesses that were very expensive with annual maintenance costs, right? And the perception also is that those solutions were also large companies like Oracle and SAP, but due to particularly software as a service, if you look at Western markets, starting with a product like Salesforce, this has really disrupted the nature of enterprise software, where you can have a very robust enterprise solution at a very low price point because typically the payments are made on a monthly basis, so it's spread across time. So all of that being said, there's a lot of opportunities for small businesses to integrate a variety of different technologies, from their finances to marketing to sales automation within their businesses. It's all just a matter of identifying that you may have a limitation in your process, in your workflow, and then simply Googling what could be a solution for you.
What is the role that technology really plays as far as your own business goes?
Yeah, absolutely. It's for all different elements of their business, right? For if they're a company that has physical stock, that could be for inventory tracking in real time. For example, in the market, any e-commerce seller now, there's a variety of solutions that are, for example, omni-commerce solutions that allow them to sell their products on multiple stores like Amazon and Flipkart and Snapdeal. And all of their inventory gets updated in real time, right? These are things that you no longer have to update in a manual way. But that can also include your marketing, can include your finances. For example, Hummingbill is a great solution for managing your accounts receivable. So in every possible way, there are solutions for automating and increasing efficiencies in business workflows.
How can small businesses use a service like yours? Talk to our viewers about what kind of synergies you really see.
So we typically work with small to medium-sized businesses that are sending anywhere from 50 to 1,000 invoices per month. And the problem that typically these companies have is that it takes them a long time to create and send invoices to their clients, to track invoices and follow up on invoices. This is a pretty non-scalable problem. Companies today are using Excel spreadsheets for tracking their receivables, but it's very inefficient, right? For identifying which are your greatest creditors and the process of following up with them, right? It's the same process businesses have been using since they've been on a computer, right, and have had access to email in sending follow-ups to their clients.
Also talk to our viewers about the regulatory framework for businesses like yours and how you ensure that you are at all times compliant with the regulatory framework.
So we do accounts receivable, but we don't do payments. Payments is a heavily regulated space. For example, two-factor authentication is both a great thing for consumers, but also a limitation. But whereas for us, we don't have too many limitations where we work. However, that is going to change soon in a positive way for us with the goods and services tax that's going to be hopefully rolled out right in April of next year. But that's going to force businesses to move their otherwise offline invoices online. So that's an opportunity for any business like ours that works in the invoicing space in helping organizations move their invoices if they're either paper-based or if they're, say, on a PDF, and moving that data onto the cloud. But actually, there's not really any limitations per se. In our space, it's, in fact, I'm looking at things in a more positive light of it's an opportunity due to compliance, an opportunity for us.
Let's talk about what the next few years are looking like for you at Hummingbill.
We're really just focused on growth. Our long-term play is to get as many suppliers and buyers onto our platform as possible. Today we have about 9,000 businesses on the solution. And the large opportunity is once we've got a large enough network that we are capturing invoice information in real time, accounts receivable information in real time, as well as historical data that can be used for trade financing. So we can help facilitate access to capital, whether that is lines of credit, working capital loans, or invoice discounts, all through our application. And as you know, the MSME market is really credit-starved. The estimate's about $600 billion gap in the market for access to credit.
I want to talk about one bit of government policy. We were talking, of course, of regulation earlier, Digital India, and the impact is likely to have both on, your industry as well as MSMEs and how they can tap into it to ensure that they enter the space.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a number of companies now that are introducing different, for example, financial products that are leveraging the what's sometimes called the India stack, which is Aadhaar, this is the DigiLocker, this is electronic signatures, and then soon with GST, and then also the Unified Payment Interface. So all of these tools are going to be able to be leveraged by organizations to create a market where transactions can be done in a cashless, in a presenceless, and in a paperless way, right? Especially for what we're doing. Today, there's about 5 billion invoices per month that are transacted in India. And there's going to be this huge shift in the market requiring businesses to put all of those invoices online, right? So it's both an opportunity for businesses like ourselves to capitalize on this compliance requirement in the market, and then also it's going to create a behavior change among MSMEs to adopt new technologies, which ultimately is going to improve their behavior, right? Business tends to be a bit stubborn about adopting new technologies, but if you have, for example, compliance driving the behavior change, that can be a really dramatic force in the market. So I'm quite excited actually about everything you just brought up with this Digital India and this India stack. A lot of opportunity.
Adam, as we're winding down this conversation, if you had one piece of advice for our viewers, what would that be?
I think one thing is just failing fast. So this is for any startup company, right? It's all about understanding your business model, understanding your unit economics, and building hypotheses and then testing them as quickly as possible. So this whole concept of failing fast, right? And then the second thing is I'd also advise any first-time entrepreneurs to get their advice from entrepreneurs, current and former entrepreneurs, because starting up is really a skill set in itself. It's not something that you can learn from being in a large corporation. So there's now a growing ecosystem of entrepreneurs in India, and so for any first-time entrepreneur out there, definitely consult your friendly entrepreneur neighbor to get some help in getting started.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, our bright spark tonight is Shringar House of Mangalsutra. Do stay tuned. Welcome back with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight we're putting the spotlight on one MSME who's doing something different, Shringar House of Mangalsutra. With the wedding season in full swing, there are few symbols as iconic as the Mangalsutra, but what does it take to establish a stronghold as a Mangalsutra manufacturer and ultimately build a business around a single signature product? Pooja Jain visited the Shringar House of Mangalsutra to bring you, the MSME entrepreneur, these tips. Take a look.
Representative of the sanctity and eternal bond of marriage, Mangalsutras are worn by women across generations. And the Shringar House of Mangalsutra is a third-generation Mangalsutra manufacturer whose products have withstood the test of time. The company has consciously chosen to build a business around a single product, which they know intimately. After conducting extensive research and studying the history and origin of this sacred ornament, the company has introduced welcome innovation in product design while preserving the Mangalsutra's most traditional elements. Shringar, having been coined the House of Mangalsutra by its loyal and global clientele, invited us to their headquarters to relish in their rendition of matrimonial magic.
Actually, we belong to the Sonar community, the Sonar family. So since many generations we are into this trade, this business. But particularly my grandfather and my father, together they started focusing only on one product, that's manufacturing of Mangalsutra. And earlier then this product was not so developed. There were hardly few designs, very few designs. But lately, as generation passed, as years passed, Mangalsutras also transformed. Earlier generation and today's generation, there is a vast difference. There is a vast difference in the concept of Mangalsutra. Earlier it was just a tradition, but now we want to promote that as a trend too.
Walk us through how a Mangalsutra even comes to life. What is the manufacturing process?
The skilled and the experienced artisans which we have, it's their hard work and their skills which lead to a masterpiece. He would always keep in mind that how can he reduce the weight of a particular product, giving the product the same aura and the same look which the designer had in mind and now the karigar has in mind. It becomes very important to manage the purity, the gold purity. Then comes the quality. The quality of the product should be perfect in terms of finishing. So that is also a very important aspect in manufacturing. After all, entire product is ready. All the elements added. There are antique type of Mangalsutras which involve kundan in it. There are western type of Mangalsutras which involve fancy stones in it. It involves nice chain work in it and a lot of assembling work in it. After all of that is done, finally comes the QC of the product. And here we at Shringar, we particularly focus more on the QC, the durability and the lasting of the product. Because especially when I talk about Mangalsutra, it is a product which is connected to the sentiments of every woman, because it's the root of our tradition.
Let's talk about the modernization of the Mangalsutra. So while it's a very signature traditional product, it's also incredibly personal. What emphasis in-house have you put on innovation in product design?
Any product or any concept, innovation is a must. So is in Mangalsutra. It may sound, Mangalsutra may sound traditional, but it is a vast industry. And the most important thing which keeps us on toes and ahead today is the innovation and the numerous designs which we create. And every state, like every state in India, has its own concept of jewelry making, its own concept of jewelry. So what we focus on is how can we convert all these different aspects and different concepts of jewelry making into Mangalsutra, creating a vast taste and a vast collection which cater to all different states and cities of India, because every woman has a different taste, every woman has a different choice. So our main challenge is to fulfill that choice.
That said, it's a very competitive landscape. So what does it take to stay competitive in this business?
Jewelry is not something which you can just purchase watching an image without any communication. Every jewelry needs some certain communications, because there are various aspects which a buyer should know and wish to know, and he will have to know about the product. And we are glad that our industry, the particular jewelers, are supporting this innovation and are focusing more on online purchasing. So this platform, where through live video streaming, our customers can do live purchases and can make their work and their time more useful. And it's a very good moment that started by us. Today Shringar is supplying Mangalsutras to most of the leading jewelers in India and abroad too.
With an emphasis on product quality and personalized customer service, Shringar House of Mangalsutra has become the exclusive supplier of Mangalsutras to the country's leading jewelry retailers. With deep-rooted respect for the sentiment that underlies the Mangalsutra's purity and popularity, in Shringar House of Mangalsutra, brides all over have met their match.
Today we brought you tips and insights on how you can use digital in every aspect of your business. And do remember that if you are a company that wants to be featured on the show, or if you have any query about any aspect of your business, you can write into us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can personally tweet at me. The Twitter handle is Sunanda_J. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT, or call us on that number that you see flashing on your screen. We promise to have all your queries answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
If you feel you have what it takes to be awarded as the best in the business, here is your chance to apply. Head on over to our website, download the form and apply. If you face any troubles when applying or feel the need to get in touch with us directly, email us, call us, tweet at me directly at Sunanda_J, or join our Facebook group.